Let's create a scenario. Imagine you're at a family dinner and someone says, I'm going to college this fall. What happens? Likely there's going to be smiles and claps, and someone's going to be like, what's your major? Now, picture someone else at that same dinner says, I'm going to trade school to become an HVAC tech or welder. What is likely to happen in many homes? A polite nod, maybe silence, or maybe a well-meaning but faintly pitying, oh, well, that's good too. It's as if college is plan A and trades have become the fallback. But here's the catch. Trade work is not backup. It's essential, well-paid, and in high demand. But the question is, why do so many people feel this way? Why do they think that it's the thing you do when you can't cut it in college? Well, I think to understand this, we kind of have to look backwards. We have to kind of rewind and see how we got here. So in the mid-20th century, especially after World War II, the GI Bill opened up college doors for millions of veterans. College became linked to upward mobility, a ticket to the middle class. By the 70s and 80s, policymakers started telling everyone college isn't just one good path, it's the only respectable one. In the 90s, college for all became official policy language. The idea was more degrees mean a stronger economy. And what really did it was in 2002 with the passage of the No Child Left Behind Act, or the NCLB. The NCLB aimed to fix education inequality by measuring school success through standardized test scores in reading and math. Sounds practical, right? But here's what ended up happening, the unintended consequence. Schools scrambled to improve test numbers. Programs that didn't raise scores like shop class, woodworking, auto mechanics, they got cut. Career and technical education, or CTE, shrank dramatically. Counselors were pressured to show college acceptance rates, not apprenticeships. It wasn't an explicit ban on trades, but it made them invisible. And to a whole generation, the message was clear. Success means 4 years in lecture halls, not 4 years in an apprenticeship. So what does the actual job market say? Over 650,000 open jobs right now. Electricians have a median wage of 60,000, and many will make 80,000, 100K in overtime. Plumbers, HVAC techs, welders, similar range. What about college grads? Median starting range is about 55 to 60K. Mid-career average about 75 to 80K. Over 40% of new grads work in jobs that don't require a degree. Average student loan debts is about $37,000 per borrower. So college can pay off, but it isn't a guarantee, and trades often start earning earlier without crushing debt. So society literally runs on trades. Here's something that doesn't get talked about enough. A trade isn't just a personal choice. It's what keeps things going. Let's think about it. Every building you walk into needs electricians, HVAC techs, and plumbers. Data centers powering your cloud storage, built and maintained by skilled tradespeople. Our aging infrastructure, bridges, water systems, they desperately need skilled hands to keep them maintained. Without these jobs, cities don't grow, homes don't stay safe, and businesses can't expand. Yet, for decades, we've been telling kids to avoid these necessary professions. So this is where it gets even more interesting, because we're in this new world with AI. And here's where we get kind of an interesting paradox. Many white-collar tasks like report writing, data analysts, even drafting contracts, they're becoming automated. Trade jobs are very much AI resistant. Why is that? Well, they require dexterity, spatial skills, things that robots struggle with. Real-world environments are unpredictable. A corroded pipe, a cramped attic, a cracked beam. Trades rely on quick judgment and hands-on problem solving. Ironically, the safe office jobs of yesterday are more vulnerable to AI than the trade jobs we labeled second best. So talking about job growth and demand, the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics projects that electricians will grow by 6% in the next decade, HVAC techs by 5%, and plumbers by about 4%. Meanwhile, certain academic jobs are not growing or actually decreasing. Journalism, media down by 3%. Lawyers only a 5% increase at best. And then a lot of the data-heavy finance roles that were so lucrative in previous decades, they're shrinking because of automation. And then a lot of academic jobs are being outsourced. So demand for people who build and fix, it's steady and often more local, which means less risk of outsourcing. We lost something with college-only thinking. Focusing on four-year degrees, it left real scars. A shortage of skilled trades slowing construction and repairs on infrastructure. Rising debt, both personal and national. Funding degrees that don't always deliver. And culturally, we lost respect for much of the people who hold practical knowledge, the know-how that keeps the lights on and the water running. But the thing is, all of this can change. Some states are reinvesting in career and technical education. Social media is full of creators showing off welding art, vintage car restoration, and carpentry. Big companies are launching apprenticeships and training pipelines. But for a real shift, we need to change the story as well. Success isn't just a diploma, it's a skill, a purpose, a contribution. To kind of ask yourself, in your mind, do you define success as an office job? Do you see a trade as settling? Who is really benefiting when we all chase this very narrow path? What type of society do we build when everyone follows the same blueprint? I want to imagine a future where a person saying, I'm going to college to become an architect, or someone saying, I'm starting an apprenticeship to be a welder, they get the same nod of respect. So for a period of time during the pandemic, I worked at a vocational college. And I had this student in my college algebra class who was just trying to finish off his high school credit. And he would get up at 6 o'clock, drive this distance to come to the college, and then he would immediately go off and he would work 8 hours a day doing landscaping. So this guy was really hardworking and showed up for class and really put in the effort. But what I think had happened was, after years of being forced to study things that he wasn't particularly interested in, but he did it anyway because he wanted to get that degree, he lost interest in continuing any education beyond high school. Here's the thing. The area in which we lived, the state had been investing a lot into forestry and logging. This is a skilled profession. And he would have done well in it. He would have gotten paid very well. Honestly, think he would have liked going to those classes for that. He would have liked the hands-on practical work. But as much as I tried to talk him into doing this, he was just tired of school. So I think what's happened is by cutting these programs, these vocational programs in high school, forcing people to take foreign languages when they're not really interested in them, art when they're really not interested in them, I think that we're losing a lot of potential. And I think that a lot of people, if they could in school instead take shop, automotive technology, woodwork, things where they get to work with their hands, practical stuff that they see that they can apply in the real world, not only would we be training people to do these jobs which are essential for our world to run, but I think we would have, ironically, a much more educated and productive population. Also, we would have a lot fewer students who are in extreme debt.